Warning, this dream has graphic zombie demon pictures. Warning, this dream has graphic zombie pictures in it. This is one of my dreams, guys, that I had, and it was one of the most awesomest dreams about me training in the spirit, in spiritual warfare, that I had ever had. So, I want to just let you guys know, and I gave you pictures that come as close as possible to what I saw. So this dream is about me being chased by Satan and zombies, and about a huge illuminated bridge that I ended up on with one of the archangels. This was the most awesome dream, and I'm about to tell you. So it started out, it was dark like this, and it was very muggy, or foggy, I'm sorry, and there was a huge illuminated bridge, but it was so foggy, and there was a bunch of people being chased by zombies, and zombies, chasing people underneath the bridge, and I myself was being chased by Satan, and I was running towards the bridge to jump on the ladder of the bridge to climb up the bridge. And as Satan was chasing me, I see myself being chased. Like, I'm watching myself being chased, and I'm also running and seeing myself run in my own eyes at the same time. I'm getting different angles of this. So during this dream, when Satan was chasing me and all these zombies were underneath the bridge down a step which was lower underneath the bridge, I was being chased by Satan. I saw myself in full armor, sword, shield, and everything. Now these pictures are pictures of what looked somewhat similar to the darkness and to where we were and how things looked. It was not in China or Japan or Korea or anywhere. I know that it was here in the United States. But these pictures are just graphic view of how dark and foggy and how things looked in this dream. So this next picture is of some bridges. Now the demons, the zombies, were going underneath the bridge chasing people, and I was on the side on an upper level being chased by Satan, trying to get to the ladder of the bridge to climb up on top of the bridge. Okay. Now the bridge was illuminated. It was lit up. It was beautiful. It was at an arc, like an arc shape. And there was a lower level, but there was a top level that we were standing on, the very top level that I climbed up on. Because there was a level where the street was, and then there was a second level to where the arches were on the top, where the lights were, the main lights. And I climbed all the way up to that top, the roof, so to speak, of the bridge, where this other archangel was, or where the archangel was. And I'll get to that part in a minute. So coming up here shortly, you're gonna see some pictures of some illuminated bridges on how similar it looked. So during this whole time, I could feel my heartbeat racing. I could feel the adrenaline. I was turning back. As I was running, I would stop for a second and I would kick and punch, and I would swing my sword around and my shield, and I was fighting Satan. I was literally battling Satan, like I was duking it out with him. And you could hear him going, you know, like when somebody gets hit and they're like struggling, you know, I could hear him doing that. And I wasn't saying a word, I was just fighting. And I would turn back around and I would run some more to the bridge, and then as he was catching up, I'd turn back around and start kicking and whacking again, and stop him for a minute, you know, and then start running again to get a little leeway on him. So these are pictures of illuminated bridges, of how similarly illuminated they looked. They're all differently illuminated, but this was kind of sort of the type, only it was at a kind of almost an arch type angle, which you'll see here shortly. And we were on the top. We climbed all the way up to the top, which there was flat board and we could actually walk on. So coming up here is going to be some other illuminated bridges. Now keep in mind, this dream was, I had never had a dream like this before, where I was fighting Satan in that capacity. I had had dreams where I had fought him before, but it was with a couple other people, and I'll tell you about that dream later. So this is kind of the arch style that the illuminated bridge was. That type of arch, but it had a top level where we could walk on, and it was pretty wide. And it was an amazing dream. I could hear a little bit that was going on, like I could hear grunts and different things from zombies, you know, from zombie demons. I could hear Satan, you know, grunting and doing that whole like he's trying to keep up, you know. I could hear that stuff, but I couldn't hear much else around me. So with that being said, while I was being chased, like I said, I could feel the air a little bit. I could feel my movement. I could feel my adrenaline and me being out of breath and me just being so totally worked over and tired, but pushing myself to fight, right? So this is kind of a lot very similar on how how this illuminated bridge looked, only it was more beautiful and had a better style instead of just the illuminated poles there holding the arch up. So the Archangel that was there with me, I didn't know that there was an Archangel there until I got on top of the bridge. Now let me tell you this, as I'm getting up on the bridge, as I got to the ladder and I'm climbing, I'm hustling it, I'm just ripping up those stairs, and I'm just busting through those stairs. Meanwhile, Satan's trying to grab at me and he's falling down and grunting, and I'm kicking and I'm swinging my sword at him, and I'm continuing to jump up onto the ladder to climb the ladder, and I made it all the way up, and Satan slid down, and you could hear him grunting. And I just stood up there on top of the stairs, huffing and puffing, so tired. I looked down, and I kind of just shake my head and start laughing, because here I was, the warrior, and I had defeated Satan from getting up onto the ladder and from getting to me. Come to find out, he could not get on the ladder because the ladder is of light. And down there on the earth in the world was darkness. And I was up there with light. So this is a really cool analogy on how, a revelation on how Abba Father showed me about this whole dream and what was going on. The reality of it was, since 2015, when I came in to salvation, Abba Father started training me in spiritual warfare and deliverance, and taught me what I knew when I was younger. In 2015, well, yeah, a couple years younger, but that's beside the point. So I'm just taking a little sidebar here, so until I finish the dream. So here I was, up there with this angel, this archangel. Once I got up there, I was huffing and puffing. I look over, up and over, and I see him looking down at the zombies, looking down over the bridge, and it was one of the warring angels. As a matter of fact, it was Archangel Micheal. I'm standing there and I look over at him and I open my hands like, what's going on? Why didn't you help me? And he just looks over at me and he says, I wasn't supposed to help you. You're training. And then he looks back down, and then he kind of takes a side step at me, and looks towards my way, kind of glances and gets a smile on his face and says, well done. And I was like, whoa, what just happened? So this is how he was standing, basically. Kind of like this, but with his sword down, looking over the illuminated bridge that we were standing on top of, and just surveilling everything. So he looked similar to this, but his wings were a little more back, like behind him, but he was standing sideways like this picture here, and his wings were closer to his body and more up. And I didn't realize it was Archangel Micheal until I began to calm down, and I looked over at him and I was like, Micheal? Like, is that Micheal? And I look at him, and sure enough, the spirit knows another spirit, He's of heaven, and I have the Holy Spirit, and I was like, whoa, this is Archangel Micheal watching over us. So that